Hello all and welcome to Coffee with Marci. So I've noticed more and more people in my life have food sensitivities, whether it's one of my child's friends or a family member or one of my own friends. And I found this really great test called Pinnertest. And this detects what foods you have food sensitivities to. And the great thing is the company is here in New Jersey, and here to talk about it is Carla Corriatee-Hula. She is a registered and certified dietitian and nutritionist. She's going to tell us all about the test, and she's going to touch on nutrition with us today. So welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So great having you.
Thank you.
So first question I have to ask, how is coffee?
Coffee's fine as long as you're not sensitive to it.
Exactly, which you'll discover with this test.
It's on the list.
It's
Are
on
you
the
sure
list.
you want to test?
I know. Well, I do. I
Okay,
really do,
good.
because we'll talk about it later, but I got some things going on
Okay.
too. So, first of all, can you tell us what's the difference between a food allergy and a food sensitivity or intolerance?
Absolutely. That's important because a lot of people might mistake the test for a food allergy test. It's not a food allergy test. Food allergies are a different type of reaction in the body. They're antibodies. Both food allergies and food sensitivities are antibodies in the body.
Okay.
So it is the immune system's reaction. However, food allergies are IgE mediated and food sensitivities are IgG mediated.
Okay.
So an IgE allergy might cause your throat to close, or might cause hives, or itchy mouth, or watery eyes, where a food sensitivity could cause a stomach ache, a headache, joint pain, and a whole load of other things.
Right, and also even like if you have eczema or something like that,
yes.
right?
Eczema, acne, so many things.
There's so many things. So, so what kind of health issues can be remedied from knowing about this? So we've talked about some of these things, but what can we do about them?
Well, so we might have someone with, say, an autoimmune condition. They may have multiple problems like joint pain or Hashimoto's or headaches, irritable bowel syndrome, and if they take the test, the food sensitivity test, which tests for 200 different foods.
Wow.
And it will come up with maybe 3 to 5 different foods that they would need to remove. So we remove them from their diet.
Okay.
And usually within 2 weeks, they'll see a difference.
Wow.
Whether their headaches are improved or gone, or their stomach pains are gone, or joint pain is gone, or they have more energy. There's even research that it helps people lose weight who may have trouble losing weight.
Okay.
So there's so
That
many
makes sense.
different things that it improves in the life.
So what kind of foods are tested?
So 200 different foods.
Yeah.
So it will include almost every single grain, probably every single grain there is.
Right, which a lot of people have sensitivities
Yeah,
to.
you know, wheat and rye and gluten. It will test for legumes like kidney beans, pinto beans, peanuts, and then there's a separate section for nuts like hazelnuts and seeds as well, sesame seeds. There's vegetables, a very long list of vegetables.
Okay.
There's fruits,
Okay.
meats, even including rabbit and duck meats that, you know, a lot of people would not see on a typical food sensitivity test.
Right.
Then we also have herbs and spices. And then there's a miscellaneous section
Okay.
where you'll see sugar, sugar cane,
Okay.
sucralose, fructose. There's tea, there's coffee.
How about dairy?
Dairy is actually included. What's included is cow dairy, goat dairy, and sheep dairy.
Okay.
So a lot of people can't have cow dairy, but it helps to know that they're able to have goat cheese or sheep's cheese.
Okay.
And it usually helps tremendously, especially with children.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us why somebody would want to have this test done.
So we have a lot of different reasons why we do the test on clients. So a patient might have headaches, they might have stomach pains, they may have an autoimmune disease or joint pain. They may have been diagnosed with, say, Crohn's disease or colitis or irritable bowel syndrome. But one of the major reasons why I'm doing the test in my office is for my fertility program.
Wow.
So I have a program where we help women who were told that they were unable to have a child without, say, IVF or IUI or certain hormone medications. I will help them get pregnant without any of those things, using nutrition.
Wow.
I have many patients in my practice that have successfully became pregnant within just a few months doing the program.
Really?
I have a couple of clients who we started a healthy diet, we started some vitamins, and it wasn't until we did the Pinnertest on them and they removed their food sensitivities that they actually were able to become pregnant.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
That's
It is
incredible.
Absolutely amazing, yeah. It's wonderful.
That alone would make you want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So another thing that it's really, really good for is acne, which is a big one.
I found that out by accident.
Yeah.
It wasn't on purpose that I found that out. I had a young man, and he had been suffering with irritable bowel syndrome. Teenager, last thing he wants to do is discuss his gut and his. So we did the test for him, and when I had my follow-up visit with them a month after, the mom told me that his acne went away.
Yeah.
So not only was his stomach feeling so much better, and he wasn't running to the bathroom every 10 minutes in school, he wasn't missing school because of his stomach issues, his face cleared up.
Right.
So, we do have quite a few clients that, along with a healthy diet, we also tell them that their acne will improve if they're able to remove their food sensitivities.
And do you think that that's in most of the teenagers? Would you think that is that a normal thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So our skin reacts to something happening inside of our body.
Right.
So if you have eczema, there's something inside of your body that's happening that needs to be fixed.
Okay.
If you have a rash, same thing.
Okay.
If you have pimples, same thing.
Okay.
So,
your body tells a story on the outside, right?
Absolutely.
Right. All right. So you had some issues, which is why you discovered the test, right? You had migraines?
I suffered from migraines for over 30 years. I think I was 5 when I remember my first migraine.
Wow.
I was curled up in the back
That's
of my mother's
terrible.
car. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had been to many doctors, the best, Manhattan, all over the country. I would go to seek out help. I was told to go on seizure medicine. I was put on blood pressure medicine, pain medicine.
Yeah.
And for a short time, some of the medicine does help treat the headache.
Yeah.
However, none of it was preventing. Sadly, not one doctor recommended the food sensitivity test because there is a lot of research. So when Pinnertest approached me as a nutritionist, I thought, why not? I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
They offered to test me first so that I can see it and how it's done and experience the benefits of it. I had no idea that my headaches would go away. Within 3 days,
Interesting.
they were gone.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it myself.
Yeah, because
And I
this is something
tested
you've
it.
suffered with
Yeah.
all your life. And just to think that
Right, a simple
this test
a simple
allowed you to
test,
find what was going on and taking that food out of your diet made that difference.
It made sense because I had been to a doctor who discovered the blood vessel that was being constricted and why it was getting the pain, but what was causing that constriction was inflammation.
Right.
And by removing the foods that you're sensitive to, you're decreasing inflammation in your body.
Absolutely.
So it's so simple, really so simple.
Right. One of the things that I've noticed for myself is I think I have issues with dairy. That's what I think.
Okay.
And also, I love my coffee, but I have noticed if I drink a little too much, I think I have an issue with my stomach too.
Do you put milk in your coffee?
I do.
Okay.
I do. So maybe it's the fake creamer I put in.
Okay. Some
Yeah.
of the creamers have a little bit of casein in it, which is the protein
Okay.
in dairy.
Okay.
So a lot of them can claim that it's lactose free, because technically it is. So there's no lactose in it. Lactose is the sugar in dairy.
Okay.
Casein is the protein in dairy. And that's actually what Pinner tests. It tests the proteins in the foods.
Interesting. I'm so excited to have this
Yeah.
test. Can you tell the audience exactly what the test is?
Okay, so the test is a finger prick.
Mm-hmm.
If you know anybody with diabetes, they are constantly testing themselves for blood sugar, and it's exactly what how the Pinnertest tests. So it's a little finger prick, and we take about 6 or 7 drops of blood,
Okay.
and it's sent to the lab.
Okay. And how long does it take to get the results?
It takes anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, I would find, depending on if there's a holiday.
And you'll get a list of all the things that you have a sensitivity to.
You will get the entire list of foods that you were tested for, and you will get the list of foods that you are sensitive to.
Okay.
It's very easy to read. There's a green list and there's a red list.
Okay.
The green list is everything you were tested for that you tested negative to sensitivity.
Okay.
And the red list is everything that you tested positive for. And it'll give you a level 1, level 2, level 3.
Right. Okay.
Even though it only tells you the most sensitive, the most severe sensitivities.
Okay.
It will still give you like a mild, moderate, severe.
Okay. All right. And if it's mild, then it probably doesn't bother you too much.
That's where it gets a little tricky.
Okay.
So what I find is that sometimes a level 1 allergen might be very bad, but the person may have only eaten it, say, once a month, and it only shows up as a level 1 because there's not a lot. This is where it gets a little clinical and technical.
Right.
So, it depends on the person individually why something is a level 1 as opposed to a level 3.
Now, if you find that you got a level 1, but yet I ate nuts and I was like, oh my God, I felt terrible after that. But then I tested 3 weeks later and it was only a level 1. Could you retest and say, like maybe you ate the nut again and then it made you feel really badly?
I would say if you want to retest and really know how high that number is, you would need to eat a little bit of peanuts every day for a couple of weeks leading up to the test.
Okay.
Because when we don't eat the food, so for example, if if I was sensitive to coffee.
Yes.
Don't say that. Once in a while.
She did not say that.
I cannot be sensitive to coffee. Luckily, I never have been.
Yeah.
And I drink it every day.
Mm-hmm.
It will be a very high number. If I don't drink it for, say, 3 months and I am sensitive to it, it could be falsely low.
Got it.
It could even be falsely negative.
Right.
Because of all those IgG antibodies have emptied out of my body.
That makes sense, yeah. All right, so I guess it's my turn to take the test.
Great.
All right,
So what do you think you're sensitive to? So you said dairy?
I think dairy.
Okay. Do you get headaches? Do you have any joint pain?
Really, it's my stomach.
Okay.
My stomach feels uncomfortable, bloating.
Okay.
Bloating is a big issue for me.
Okay.
And I think that also happens if I eat any rich types of food. I think it always just leads back to dairy, whether it's cream or milk or, it may be a cream sauce on a pasta, which I don't eat that very often. So I often wonder, is it because I don't eat it very often, and so now I just am sensitive? Or do I really have a sensitivity to it?
Okay.
Because I don't have dairy that often, except for.
And you make a good point. If you don't eat dairy often, your body's not making the enzyme needed to break down the lactose. So it is possible that your body's just not used to that dairy, and then the enzyme's not available.
Got it.
But that's great about the Pinnertest, it differentiates.
Okay.
So if dairy doesn't show up, it could very well be that you have a lactose intolerance.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So what do we have to do?
So this is a very simple test. You can actually do it at home yourself. You don't need a doctor or a dietitian to do it for you.
All right, well, good to
It
know.
can be a little intimidating at first, but there's actually videos on Pinnertest's website that you can watch someone doing it to themselves. We would first need to get your consent.
Yes. All right, very good.
Okay. You don't have to fill this out now, but
All right.
before we send it, we would have to get you to just fill it. It's a very simple form.
Okay.
Your name, your email address, your address, your age, and your signature and the date.
Okay. Got
And
it.
there's a little explanation of what the test is and how it's not an allergy test.
Mhm.
You know, Pinner wants everyone to understand that if, say you're allergic to peanuts,
Mm-hmm.
and peanuts doesn't come up on this test. A lot of people say, well, I'm allergic to peanuts. I'll die if I eat a peanut. How come it's not on the Pinnertest? And that just shows you this is an IgG antibody. It's a sensitivity, different mechanism in the body. You still are allergic to peanuts, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's basically what the consent is saying.
And how
then
can
on
someone have the test? Get the test.
They can go on Pinnertest's website.
Okay.
And order it.
Okay.
Or if they're seeing a nutritionist, dietitian who does the test, they could do the test through them.
Okay.
You know, in my opinion, it's always better to do it that way.
To go through a
To go through a
nutritionist.
clinician, because you'll
Okay.
get an explanation of the test. You'll also get to do the elimination diet with them. Okay, say you eat a lot of wheat and you're
Yeah.
allergic to gluten.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need help
Okay.
deciding what to eat now.
Yeah.
Also, you'll also need help with healing the gut. So there's a whole other part of the sensitivities is the gastrointestinal system. It's actually why we develop food sensitivities.
Oh.
If the gut is not strong,
Uh-huh.
then undigested food will get into the lumen, get to the bloodstream, and then the immune system is right there, ready to react. So what we'll do with what most nutritionists will do is we will help the client heal their gut so they don't develop new food sensitivities.
Interesting. Okay.
Very important stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's test you more.
Okay, great.
Are you comfortable doing this test on yourself?
I guess so.
Okay, good. So it comes not only with the form for consent, but it comes with a sterile package
Okay.
that you can easily rip open. And actually, we'll give you 2 of the tests.
Okay.
So just in case you make a mistake or if you don't get enough blood the first time.
Okay.
And you will get...
You don't need a lot of blood, do you?
Nope.
Okay.
It's only 6 drops. So it has an alcohol swab. It's
swab.
always good to wash your hands first, which Marci
Yes.
you did before.
Yes.
So you want to wash your hands first, and then you can clean the area.
Doesn't matter which hand
I
or
usually
finger.
tell people
or...
if you're left-handed, use your right hand.
Okay.
And it's always better to do the finger stick on the side of the finger. A lot of people assume there's more meat on the tip. It will hurt less on the side.
Okay.
And I learned that from one of my dietitians who's diabetic, who has to
Okay.
test herself often.
Alrighty.
And I will get your little Band-Aid ready for you so that you don't have to fidget with that.
Okay.
Okay. So what we can do is I will show you first before you do it.
Okay.
So this will be yours.
Alright.
You're just going to twist the top off and
Okay.
pull it. Give
Twist
it a
the top off.
little extra.
Alright, guys.
Okay. And then you're gonna kind of hold it
Yep.
right like that.
All
You're gonna
right.
press it. So you're
All right,
gonna
guys,
do
so
your
I'm gonna
left
press it
hand,
right here on my
press it onto
finger.
the side of the finger.
Yeah.
Correct. Apply a good amount of pressure because you want it to.
I'm very afraid right now.
No, you don't have to be. I promise.
Alright, so I'm gonna press it in, and then do I hold it or just...
We'll press it in so that it pricks you, and then you can right away take it right out.
Okay, and then I can take it out?
Mhm.
Alright, guys, it wasn't bad.
Okay, great. So take that for you.
Alright,
And then you just want to put enough blood.
Oh, I see. So
to
now,
completely
I
cover.
see.
Yeah, you can milk your finger. That's what I
Okay,
usually
alright,
call it,
guys. So
milking your finger.
see here, I'm gonna put it right here on this whatever's
So you're
cotton.
filling enough blood to
Okay.
completely cover the bullseye. We
The
call
bullseye. Okay, okay. And how much does the test cost?
that. The test retails for $490,
Okay.
but Pinnertest often does sales during holidays, Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas. if you want to know when the sales are, it's best to go to Pinnertest website
Okay.
and sign up to get their emails, and you will get notification of all of the different sales they have. In my office, we have a sale twice a year, Mother's Day and Thanksgiving, where we charge $330 for the test, because Pinner allows, for that.
Yeah. And so say you order the test through the Pinnertest website and you're not working with a nutritionist. Can they offer guidance as to who could help you?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. You can call them and they'll give you, so say you're in the Staten Island area and you call them, they'll probably give you my name if you needed, a dietitian guidance.
Okay.
But Pinner will also give you guidance.
Okay.
You can call their number and if you have some questions.
Does that look good?
You want to fill it.
Fill it.
You want to fill it, yeah. They say, I believe, that you have to fill it about, 75%. But
Okay.
I always, go on the side of a little extra won't hurt.
Well, I don't know why I'm not bleeding.
Maybe your hands are a little cold.
Maybe.
So if your hands are a little cold
Yes.
and you want to warm them up,
I gotta warm them up. Okay. So this is a good tip. Maybe make sure that your hands are warm.
Start from the bottom and then just bring it up a little.
Oh, there we go.
And then you'll get some.
There we go.
This is why I actually do them myself in the office. I do them
a little
for the
help
clients.
is nice.
Yeah. Do a lot of children in my office.
Okay.
So I'm always doing it myself. The parent has to hold the child.
Yes.
So that they're not moving when we do the test. Because if they move, the blood will go somewhere else. So if you're testing a child, you might want to make sure that you're doing it with a clinician so that the clinician...
And I think...
That's perfect.
And children get upset and fearful because they think it's going to hurt, anything to do with a needle. My daughter has a huge fear of it, but it doesn't hurt. So it does help if somebody else is involved, because my daughter won't listen to me. So she'll listen to the doctor a little more, or somebody else that would be helping with that.
Absolutely.
Now, one of the things that I said in the beginning that this is...
And you'll be able to take that off within like an hour.
Okay.
And you'll be completely healed.
All right, wonderful.
Okay.
Now, I had said this was a New Jersey-based company, but it's an international company?
It isn't an international company. They have labs in Europe.
Okay.
You can't meet with a dietitian in Europe without getting this test first.
Interesting.
I have a couple of friends in Europe. One particular, she's in Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
And she's worked with Pinner since she started her career.
Okay.
And she told me, you have to get this test before even going there. It's more widely recognized in the mainstream medical community in Europe than it is in this country.
Okay. But it's growing.
It is growing, very much.
And you know what? As many times as we see the food sensitivities and intolerances that are occurring more and more often, I would think that they would recognize that and start to say, this is something you need to do.
Yeah, I work with a couple of doctors that are very much on board with this. And, I think that a lot of doctors feel that maybe it's too hard for a person to remove certain foods from their diet.
Okay.
Or maybe they're missing certain nutrients from their diet because they're removing a food sensitivity. But, when you're working with a clinician, it's very easy to support a patient who might be, not getting certain vitamins.
And you substitute that.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's highly unlikely that you're going to be missing specific nutrients from removing just 3 to 5 foods.
Right. Now the test comes back, my results will come back in 2 to 3 weeks?
2 to 3 weeks, you'll get an email from the company.
Okay.
And it will have an attachment.
Yes.
And the attachment will be like a 12-page document. The first couple of pages will explain to you what the test is and what the different levels mean.
Okay.
And the rest of the test is that full list of foods that you were tested for. And if they are positive, they'll be in the red column.
Yes.
And the items in the green column are negative.
Okay.
And I would tell you to remove those foods.
Yes.
Within about 3 weeks, you will know, you will see a difference.
Okay.
Whether you might not have your stomach aches anymore.
Right.
You might have a little more energy than you did before.
So you'll start to remove the foods, and within 3 weeks.
Within 3 weeks, you'll see a difference.
Yeah.
Technically, on the technical side of things,
Mm-hmm.
it can take up to, say, 8 months to remove all of the antibodies
Right.
from that food.
Yes.
But within 2 to 3 weeks,
You're gonna feel good.
You'll see a difference. So you put your test back in the box.
Okay.
And when Pinnertest sends it to you, they'll also send you the packaging material to
Okay.
return it to them.
Okay.
So it includes the self-addressed stamped box that
Right.
it's going back to. So
Okay.
you don't have to worry about that. That's
Well,
included.
wonderful. So
Okay.
that's if you do it on your own, and if you do it with someone
If
like
you do it with me, we send them for you.
you send them for us. Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
this is
great.
really exciting.
It is
I
exciting.
cannot wait to get my
Good,
results. I'm
yes,
going to share them
yes.
with you guys, and I want to see what I'm allergic or not allergic to. Excuse me.
Right.
It's not allergies. It's intolerance or sensitivities.
Yes.
Yeah. So very clear on that one. So anyway, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Carla,
thank
for
you
coming
for
on the
having me.
show
This is
and
great.
explaining it to us about Pinnertest, what the test is, what it can do for us, and the difference it can make for us. So it's been great to have you on, and
thank
you
to be
again.
here. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers, cheers. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining Coffee with Marci. Check in weekly to hear about more entrepreneurs and nonprofits in Bergen County. Thanks so much. See you soon.